Right now at 5, an 11-year-old boy on a bike is killed by a passing car. Now, new calls for vigilance as the community deals with a senseless loss.
Felt like that it was something that needs to be spread. It's a message that needs to go further. I feel like it needs to be as many places as it can be.
A local activist and artist is using his paintbrush and his presence in his community to keep the movement toward equality going forward.
And the Colts are trying to turn a double loss around even at the start of a strange season. WRTV Sports' Brad Brown brings his expertise on an unexpected change.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5, streaming now.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Police are asking drivers to be vigilant after two boys were hit while crossing the street on a bike over the weekend in Lawrence, killing one of them.
11-year-old Isai Raimundo died while his 15-year-old brother is still in the hospital. This happened in the 4400 block of North Post Road. The two brothers were crossing the street around 8:30 Saturday night from the apartment complex to the other when a southbound driver hit them.
This is just something that we have to do better with respects to looking out for one another and looking out for those that are crossing the street. They're kids. They're going to do what kids do. So at the end of the day, we just want to come together and rise above all this and really just continue to be that resilient community that I know we can be.
Indianapolis City County Councilors Lakeisha Jackson and Keith Graves issued a statement sharing their condolences with the family, saying in part, quote, "Unfortunately, last night's accident was one of several in recent weeks involving cars and pedestrians or cyclists. We implore motorists in our districts and across the city to slow down and be extra careful to look out for your neighbors on foot or bicycles."
It was an incredibly violent weekend in Indianapolis. WRTV is pressing the issue with local and federal authorities to see what they're doing to work against the violence. At least 16 people were shot between Friday night and early this morning. That includes a deadly shooting late last night on the south side of Indy near Madison Avenue and East Raymond Street. No word on a suspect in that killing. You may recall in August the creation of Operation Legend, a 45-day initiative where federal agents and resources were sent here to central Indiana to help stop gun violence. It's been exactly a month since Operation Legend was operated, and we've checked back in on that initiative today. We'll show you how it's been going on the news at 6.
A local activist and artist believes after 2020, we should all have really clear vision when it comes to change and to help with movement towards equality. He is using his paintbrush and his presence in his own community to see that initiative through. WRTV's Troy Washington has this story.
I'm from the east side of Indianapolis, 34th and Sherman. Actually, right here beside the mural, I went to the elementary school that used to be here, Susan Rowe Leach School 68, but they're closed down now. But that's where I went to elementary school. So this is actually an area that, like, I'm have nostalgia, what I got memories with.
Billy Hoodoo is an artist, but aside from letting his work do all the talking, he's also on the front lines in his community molding youth.
I'm a member of an organization called BMI, Black Male Initiative.
The Black Lives Matter movement only recently erupted, but Hoodoo has been working since his college days, pushing for equality with emphasis on youth.
We have to give them a structure to organize with and to move forward with. One of the main aspects that I feel like will move us forward is the growth and development of our youth.
For him, the murals are just a jumping off point.
Black Lives Matter, I see that as an opportunity to let people know, make people more aware of what's going on and get ideas about what they could do.
The point is to make people think about what they can do to bring change and equality. He paints murals just like this one for free. He's hoping that the more people drive past paintings like this one, the more they'll have to realize the movement won't disappear without progress.
You can see the M is sideways, which is a sum of numeric equation. And then that's the pi symbol. So this is saying Black Lives Matter for the sum of eternity.
Working for you on the east side, Troy Washington, WRTV.
And if you are looking to have a free mural painted for your business, those details are on our website at WRTV.com.
The Indianapolis Zoo is now taking control of animals at a southern Indiana exotic animal facility after a judge approved a state's motion to remove them. Over the course of this week, the Clark County Sheriff's Office and Indiana State Police are helping remove animals from wildlife in need in Charlestown. The facility has faced numerous failed USDA inspection reports, plus state and federal evidence of mistreatment of animals. According to ABC affiliate WHAS 11, by this Friday, the Indianapolis Zoological Society will will have removed all of the animals except the big cats. PETA will remove them at a later date. The facility and its owner, Tim Stark, were featured on the Netflix documentary Tiger King.
New COVID-19 numbers are out from the state health department, with 755 cases added to the count today. The overall number of cases Indiana has seen so far is 106,540. The daily reported numbers showing a decline that has become typical due to a slowdown of reporting of tests following the weekend. And some good news, the positivity rate continues to go down gradually. The 7-day average statewide is now 4.9%. The state also reports an additional 2 COVID deaths for a statewide total of 3,215 Hoosiers who've died so far with COVID-19.
More people are home. Adults and kids alike are turning on the computer to start their days.
Only on WRTV, the nation's top safety expert tells our Rafael Sanchez this is the perfect time to look around the place you live and remove hazards.
All those honey-do lists, are people taking more risks?
I don't think they're taking more risks, but I do think it's more chaotic than it's ever been. And a lot of us just don't have a minute to ourselves to think. And so we want to remind everyone who's at home, homeschooling, working from home, to take a step back and let's talk about some common sense reminders so that you aren't in a situation that could have been avoidable.
What common hazards are you seeing?
Well, let's start with all the computers that are plugged into the wall. Right before we started talking, I got up to answer the door for my UPS van. I tripped over my own cord. So let's go around the house and see where those extension cords are and make sure that they aren't tripping hazards. And speaking of UPS, outside, make sure you have a clean, debris-free path for people who are delivering packages right now. Wind up those garden hoses, put away those tools. If you have a ladder outside or a garbage can, it's time to regroup.
We do have thousands of kids here in Indiana that right now are remote learning. They're home with mom, dad, cousins, or grandma, someone at home.
This is a really good time to have a safety boot camp. I mean, really sit down, look around the house and see, are there hazards that I'm not thinking about? The cords we mentioned, where are your fire extinguishers? What is your fire safety plan? Are there cleaning products that are in a safe place, or are they accessible by small children? And if your children are going to be sent out for recess out in the front yard or out to the driveway and riding their bikes or scooters, they need to have safety equipment.
Commissioner, thank you so much. We appreciate you for joining us here on WRTV. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rafael.
You can always report defective products at saferproducts.gov. You can get the latest information by downloading the CPSC Recall app or by visiting cpsc.gov/recalls. Keep the number 1 trillion front and center. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says deaths, injuries, and property damage from consumer product incidents cost the nation more than $1 trillion a year.
Okay, so I think we can all agree this is peak late summer weather in Indiana. Let's get over to Storm Team 6's Kyle Mounts to see if we can expect another nice night. Kyle.
Yeah, Amanda, we are enjoying it. All that sunshine out there, very comfortable this afternoon. Temperatures not quite crossing into the 80-degree territory downtown. 79 our high. Right now we sit at 77, and look at that humidity. Can't beat it, 46%. A little bit of a breeze out there this afternoon and this evening, around 15 miles per hour, but that's bringing in that less humid air. Temperatures actually only around 73 in Tipton, 72 for you in Richmond. Contrast that, you're 10 degrees warmer in Sullivan right now at 82 degrees. Look at the big picture, though. Not only is it quiet in central Indiana, but really the entire Ohio Valley and Midwest, and it's been quiet for a while. We're about halfway through the month of September. We've only picked up 400 of an inch of rain, so the yard getting pretty dry out there, about 1.5 inches below average, but it does set us up for a beautiful evening. That sun will set around 8 o'clock, clear skies, upper 60s by 10. We'll look at some small chances for rain coming our way in a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Kyle. The Colts had high expectations for running back Marlon Mack in 2020, but his season has been cut short abruptly by an injury in the very first game. Brad Brown has the latest.
It did not look like much at the time, but as Marlon Mack limped off the field on Sunday, Colts fans had to be wondering if this was how the season was going to go. The team confirming on Monday an Achilles tendon injury ending Mack's season. The Colts' #1 running back out after just 1.5 quarters.
That's really unfortunate. I mean, Marlon is, beloved in our locker room. He is just has such immense amount of respect and love for this guy. He's a true Colt, and he was just looking so good in training camp and even in his few snaps yesterday.
The Colts still have capable bodies in the backfield. Nyheim Hines scored both of Indy's touchdowns in Week 1. Rookie Jonathan Taylor showed some power in his first carries. But clearly it'll be a big adjustment with Mack out. He was expected to be a huge component of the Phillip Rivers run offense.
I think Coach Raff has done a great job, not only through training camp, but this has started before training camp of, making sure that, I was up to speed as much as possible.
The Colts still have 15 games ahead of them. As always, it's next man up. We'll see who is able to step up soon enough. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
2020 has brought an even deeper need for this kind of help. Still ahead on WRTV, where you're needed most and what you can do.
And some are still seeing major issues with life-saving medicine making it in time in the mail. The new warning from doctors coming up on WRTV News at 5.
Historic wildfires, Hurricane Laura, the coronavirus pandemic, and now Hurricane Sally.
Yeah, there is an urgent need for Red Cross volunteers right now in light of several ongoing natural disasters. 2 Red Cross volunteers from Indiana are headed to Oregon to help with wildfire relief, as we've reported to you. Deb and Jesse McDaniel left Friday. They're driving a specially equipped emergency response vehicle to help those displaced and in need. The McDaniels say they signed up for the Red Cross shortly after retiring. They've averaged around 2 deployments a year since 2012. The McDaniels say their work usually includes delivering food and supplies. They say anyone can get involved with the Red Cross, even if you can't be on the front lines.
This is a unique environment with the COVID-19, but we're able to do what we do, what we've been trained to do. We've taken a lot of training within the Red Cross. And some people are not able to deploy for whatever reason, but we would encourage them to donate if they can. They also have virtual assignments that people can do from here. So any way you can help is appreciated.
For more information on getting involved, go to redcross.org.
The video and images are stunning. A record-breaking 3 million plus acres have burned in the recent California wildfires alone. And those fires have also taken dozens of lives now, with more missing. Here's ABC's Zareen Shah.
After weeks of wildfires blazing through California, President Trump and Governor Gavin Newsom meeting about the crisis. The president sparring with local leaders on the ground about climate change's impact on the wildfires.
It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Hey, well, I don't think science knows, actually.
Good afternoon.
Democratic candidate Joe Biden claiming his visit was just for show.
He fails to protect us from the pandemic, from an economic freefall, from racial unrest, from the ravages of climate change. It's clear that we're not safe in Donald Trump's America.
Just this morning, another wave of residents evacuating California because of the 36,000-acre Bobcat fire near Los Angeles. In just the last week, the fires out west have taken over 24 lives, with dozens still missing. Over 3.3 million acres charred just this year in California, a yearly record for the state's history. Throughout the West Coast, the flames demolishing structures and even small towns in California, Oregon, and Washington state. Toxic smoke covering the coast and posing health risks for millions. Even the people fighting the fires are affected. CAL FIRE Captain Lethan Dryan lost his brand new home to the Creek Fire.
Our shed, our pump house, our house, all the trees were just scorched.
As for air quality, experts say Portland has the worst air quality in the country. Residents in San Francisco encouraged to stay inside. And right here in Los Angeles, many people trading these face coverings for these masks to protect themselves from COVID and now the smoke. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, storm-weary Gulf Coast residents are preparing right now for a new hit as Tropical Storm Sally was upgraded today to a hurricane. It's expected to reach the Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama coastlines early tomorrow morning, and is likely to be a Category 2 storm with a slow pace that could dump rain for days. The Atlantic Ocean is now seeing a record number of storms, with Hurricane Paulette surrounding Bermuda, and newly formed tropical storms Teddy and Vicky adding to the already busy hurricane season.
First responders from central Indiana are being deployed to help with Hurricane Sally. Sunday night, nearly 36 members of Indiana Task Force 1 left for Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The members represent 14 fire departments, 1 police department, and includes 5 civilians. Less than 2 weeks ago, members returned home from a deployment to Louisiana for Hurricane Laura, so this is a quick turnaround for them. Kyle.
And here is the latest on Sally. It is a Category 2 hurricane now with winds of 100 miles per hour here in the northern Gulf of Mexico. Expected to make landfall here probably along the Mississippi coastline as we go into tomorrow night. And then look at where it just kind of hangs out here across the south as we get into Thursday afternoon. So it looks like the effects from that system likely to stay south of central Indiana. We have sunshine, but also you notice a little bit of that filtered sun out there. Some of the smoke from the western wildfires moving in overhead. We've got that temperature at 77 downtown while you're in the lower 80s in Bloomington. A little bit of a breeze out there around 10 to 15 miles per hour, but it's out of that northeasterly direction and bringing in some very comfortable air here. In fact, as we go through tonight, we'll see those numbers dropping off once again through the 60s and into the 50s by tomorrow morning. If you get chilly easily, you might need a jacket for just a little bit around Muncie with a low of 50 degrees, upper 40s in the Richmond area, 55 for your Tuesday morning in Bloomington. So it will be a clear start to the day. Lots of sunshine once again. So if you enjoyed today's weather, I think you're really going to like tomorrow as well. That temperature for your lunch hour, upper 60s to around 70 degrees. Will be in the mid to upper 70s for that afternoon high. Not quite as breezy as we go into the afternoon. Right around 80 for you in Bloomington, 78 in Richmond and Indy, and Muncie coming in at 77 degrees. We mentioned the humidity is very low. It comes up just a little bit, but still not oppressive or anything like that for Wednesday and Thursday. And then it drops off the scale here by Friday and Saturday as we get ready for more of a fall feel out there. But as far as the rain goes, those chances are pretty slim. So if you need to get some of that yard work done, you can do that here the next few days. The grass just might not be growing all that much with the lack of rainfall. 7-day planning forecast shows that we've got a small chance for a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder here on Thursday with that high of 78. And then we'll continue with this dry weather pattern and cooler. Highs only around 70 degrees Friday into next weekend, and even a couple of mornings with those lows mark into the middle 40s.
All right, thank you, Kyle, for that. Experts in healthcare are now warning of a looming health crisis amid mail delivery delays. Bianchi Fascini from our news gathering partner Newsy explains how this could impact millions of Americans.
Life-threatening delays of mail-order medicine still have not been totally fixed. In fact, they might be getting worse, and doctors are warning of a potential knock-on effect, especially for senior citizens.
We're going to have a problem, a health problem, with people going, days and maybe even weeks without medications that they need.
A new Senate report says delays have been increasing during the summer. The report, prepared by Democrats Elizabeth Warren and Bob Casey, accuses Postmaster Louis DeJoy of risking the health of millions of Americans and calls on Congress to provide emergency funding to the Postal Service. DeJoy has defended his changes, which include fewer mail trips. But the delays started in May, before DeJoy took over. Problems go beyond the Postal Service to private carriers like FedEx. And more people are ordering prescriptions in the mail to avoid potential COVID exposure at the pharmacy. Experts say delays of several days or more could disrupt strict medication regimens.
Anything respiratory, asthma, emphysema, they cluster these diseases and call them COPD. People with kidney disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. These and anyone over the age of 65, regardless of really what the medications are.
There are options for patients, like asking their doctor for a 90-day supply. But some obstacles are harder to deal with.
Many of these individuals are unable to make it to a brick-and-mortar pharmacy. Maybe they're homebound, or it's possible that they can only get this type of prescription drug through a mail order company.
Private delivery companies, from UPS to even Amazon, which owns PillPack, are working on getting delivery volume back to normal. But the U.S. Postal Service remains mired in political controversy, and more funding remains up in the air. Bianca Fascini, Newsy, Washington.
It's a different kind of dance this year when it comes to who is going to win the Mirrorball Trophy. Still ahead, how Dancing with the Stars is adapting to COVID-19 to continue its season premiere tonight.
Football was back this week, and now so is Dancing with the Stars.
And although the ballroom will look a little bit different this year due to the pandemic, the celebrities and their partners are ready for the show's 29th season.
Can you believe 29? The series returns with a brand new host, supermodel and businesswoman Tyra Banks, and a lineup of stars including Grammy winner, a bachelorette, a big cat lover turned reality TV star, and a pro football legend, just to name a few. The show's first broadcast tonight, there will not be a live viewing audience to vote, and only the judges will give scores. You can catch all the dancing and drama tonight at 8 o'clock, only on WRTV. All new at 6 p.m. here. It was supposed to be a 45 days of federal and local joint efforts to curb violent crime. 1 month in, and WRTV is doing a quality check on how it's going for Operation Legend.
But first at 5:30, at this point, you may be used to getting text alerts about an order. Why you need to be beware of this delivery notification when the news continues on WRTV.